कितना टाइम लगा आपको इस पूरे आइडिया को, मिल्ट हाउस के आइडिया को एक फिजिकल स्टोर में कन्वर्ट करने में?
करेक्ट. सो when we did our first pop-up at City Walk, there was a part जिससे हमें, जब हमने पहला City Walk में अपना पॉपअप किया, उसके बाद हमने लिटिल फ्ली भी किया, हॉर्नोकी भी किया.
Okay.
by the end of the first pop-up हम लोग श्योर हो गए थे that this concept might just click. Right? Validation एक मिल गया. So when you're trying out a new business idea, always start with an idea validation phase, right?
True.
When you're able to validate an idea for cheap. So essentially we must have put down around 40-50K for the very first pop-up, all in all, right? And we made some money off that over 2 days. So we realized that idea potentially has some steam, right? It might just take off. After that, as soon as we did that, we started looking for real estate, right? We had a little bit of an idea कि यार करना कैसे है. So essentially, from as soon as the festival ended, the pop-up ended, we started working on a couple of different directions. First was to sort of lay down a business plan. कितना बड़ा space देखना है, क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. This was one direction. Second was to scout for more pop-up locations, to build a little bit of a goodwill before we can open the store. And real estate hunt was ongoing then, right? So 3 different directions we took. Let's say within 1 to 2 months, we were broadly sure of कि यार हमें कितना बड़ा space चाहिए. So we realized, as new entrepreneurs and somebody doing this for the first time, we realized that we don't want to take on too much of a risk, right? So we started thinking of a very small space.
Okay.
We were looking for a space which can be, let's say, 200 to 300 square feet. This is also when I started, right, because this is a process I follow. Every time I'm doing something, I'm not 100% sure how to enter this, because again, I'm not from the F&B industry. I'm not trained. I've been from the media space, but I've realized every time I run into an obstacle in my life, I just get a book to solve it, right? And books have been a great source of help. And you wouldn't believe, I just buy a book for everything, right? So if we were doing sandwiches, I must have bought 10 cookbooks only focusing on sandwiches. And Amazon is such a great find, right? Because you can find, if you want any book, you just put what you're looking for and search book, and you'll find a book, right? And I still remember the first sandwich book I bought was called Max's Sandwich Shop. It's a sandwich shop in London, and they do about 12 sandwiches, all focaccia sandwiches. And I bought that book, and it gave me a great insight into how to look at a sandwich. Great theory, I must share it with you. He says, how do you make a perfect sandwich? He says, a great sandwich, because it's a sandwich and it's different for different dishes, but a sandwich must have all components or all essential flavors in one dish. I'll explain this to you. He says a sandwich should have something soft, something hard. Two very opposite things, but when they come together, it'll create magic. So he says a sandwich should have something crispy and something soft, 2 different textures. Something hot and something cold. So maybe a hot protein, but a cold salad. Something sour, something sweet, something salty. Right? So when all these ideas come together between 2 slices of bread, he says if you're able to do this well, you will create a perfect sandwich. And that theory has stayed with me forever. And it's
like
insane.
Science of a sandwich, right?
It's insane. It's science of a sandwich. And you can test this, right? Because if you were to make, let's say, he makes a great sandwich. Again, this is not something we serve, but it's a sandwich he serves. He calls it the bhaji smuggler. And bhaji smuggler is because Brits called, for bhaji is bhajia pakoda for them, right? So a bhaji smuggler is 2 pieces of focaccia. And there's obviously some sort of compound butter in there. And bhaji is your crispy bit, right? So bhajia is crispy. Your the aioli he makes, the mayonnaise, is going to be something nice. So he'll make, let's say, a mint chutney aioli, right? So mint chutney is your is something sweet and sour and soft, so and fatty, right? So that's your aioli. He'll also put something crispy. So for a Bombay-inspired sandwich, he'll put Bombay mix, the namkeen, right? So again, a very great addition to the sandwich. When it comes to salad, so again, hot, cold. Bhajia is hot. He needs a cold salad to cut it out. He'll make like a, let's say he'll make some sort of salad, maybe a cucumber salad, right? And then whatever we missed, crispy, maybe a soft egg on top, right? So something soft, something crispy, something hot, something cold. And he'll, obviously the mayo can have something sweet, something smoky, right? But when it all comes together, you get such a massive diversity of flavors. It'll just work, right? And I've tried this across so many different sandwiches, and every time we're able to do this well, it works like magic. It looks innovative, because how do you innovate? Let's say you're putting a sandwich together, you know you have to have something crispy in there. Now you have an open canvas, right? You're working with limitation that you need something soft and crispy. Your crispy could be as varied as crushed Lay's chips, but you could also do Kerala banana chips. You could also do namkeen. You could do anything really, right? So as long as you have something crispy in your sandwich, here you can do a lot of innovation. When you're looking at protein, you could obviously do your chicken and paneer and whatnot, but you can innovate with your mayonnaise, right? You can innovate with your aiolis. You can innovate with your compound butters. And this theory stayed, right? So again, coming back, books have been a great, great source of inspiration. Every time I bought a book, I've learned something great from it. When I think of doing a restaurant, I didn't know how to start a restaurant. I didn't know how to do the lighting, how to look at real estate. So I bought a book. The book was called Setting the Table by Danny Mears. Danny Mears is the guy who behind Union Square Cafe and Shake Shack. Of course, we know Shake Shack because it's iconic, right? But also Union Square Cafe is very big, right? It's a great restaurant based out of New York. So Danny Mears wrote a book. It's about 400 pages long, but it tells you exactly everything you need to do to set up a restaurant. Every single thing, right? And it's so crazily detailed. He tells you किस टाइप का लाइटिंग होना चाहिए, लाइट का कलर टेम्परेचर कितना होना चाहिए, फ्लोरिंग कैसा होना चाहिए, बैक ऑफ हाउस को कितना कितना स्पेस देना है, कितना स्टोरेज देना है. Every single thing you can think of is a part of that book. And again, for somebody who was a noob, didn't know anything about the industry, it's a great place to start. Again, I didn't know my accounting, for example. So I bought a book. It was called Profit First for Restaurants. There's apparently a series of books written by a CA called Profit First. And it's such a crazy book because it tells you how to make your allocations for different parts of your business to make sure you stay within budgets. And great learning. So again, my recommendation to anybody who's watching this podcast, please buy a lot many more books and read books like crazy. It always helps. You can never go wrong with reading books. Thank you.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगी और ऐसी और वीडियोस देखना चाहते हैं, so make sure to follow Truffle Nation on YouTube.